Good evening, citizens of Gotham and all the ships at sea. Recently, a lot of people have been asking me, hey Ed, where's Gotham City? Is it the same city that Batman came out of? Not really. I wrote down Gotham City on Facebook, and suddenly they want me to show them on a map where our city is located. Our city. I had to send them a map from a Batman website, and it was Facebook ever flummoxed. Now, you Dark Knight fans, you know the maps. People still ask me, where's Gotham? I could get all 1990s and say, dude, Gotham's a state of mind. Yeah, that would even be half the truth, right? Because the fact is, there are territories of Gotham all over the planet. If you see a dead factory, mill, warehouse, transportation depot, any place abandoned, you see Gotham. If you see a city abandoned because of toxic chemical spill, bioplague, radiological spill, there's Gotham. If you see a bridge rusted and ready to fall or a tunnel ready to flood, there's Gotham. If roving street gangs outlaw law enforcement, there's Gotham. If a gross miscarriage of justice ruined people's lives, maybe even yours, and some parasite made a profit on it, you're in Gotham. If your neighbor was one of the 22 vets who took their life last night, you're in Gotham. If your vote meant nothing because an election got bought, you're in Gotham. So now that we know where on the map we are, Gothamites, let's discuss what we're going to do about it. Some of you work too damn hard for too damn little. Some of you think you're just going to let go someday or some night because yesterday was garbage and tomorrow ain't looking too damn good either. Maybe you're financially down and out. Maybe you're a victim of a violent crime. Maybe the doctor said this is your last holiday because the big C has come to your home. Whatever has you down, Gothamites, there is no right or wrong way through this crisis. There is only your way. If you can find no other reason to get up, forget about hope. I was told how false hope was by a French bookstore owner. Yeah, back in 1988. Do not be fooled. Do not be led astray. Do not be run amok by the tactics of false hope. He told me his story almost came to an end back in 1944 when the train he was on rolled into Auschwitz, Poland. The train gets unloaded, lines are formed, selections are made, and this guy is maybe 7 years old when his father, the rabbi, asks the Obermachtenführer, when can we hope to be released? And at this point, the Obermachtenführer is trying to keep from laughing as he gestures up to the chimney, dousing black smoke into the air and says, you may begin hoping anytime you wish. Now, this kid was 8 years old when World War II ended. He had no father, he had no mother, he had no sisters, most of his neighbors were gone. Yep. And the Russians told him, don't bother walking east because we don't want you around near the Soviet Union either. You remember remember history from back in like 1970? They had a lot of pogroms over there in the Soviet Union to get rid of the Jews. So it wasn't friendly territory for them either. So what does this kid do? Fueled by spite, he starts walking west, all the way to France. He grew up there, fueled by spite. He'd face down the Third Reich. So no bureaucracy, no thug, no law, nothing's going to knuckle down this 5'3" guy who walked out of Auschwitz. So if nothing else works for you as you go through a time of crisis, think spite. Think how no mug is going to decide this is your last day on the planet. Spite. Now, how do we put the old resilient Gotham spite into action? First thing is to realize that whatever got you into a problem, it's probably not going to get you out of it. You're going to have to change your plan, your thinking, everything. No plan survives first contact with the enemy. General Mattis will tell you this, and so would Batman. Yep. So if you're dealing with, maybe you're dealing with injury or illness, being informed about your condition is only the beginning. Sometimes you have to open up new neural pathways in your brain to heal better and faster. How best to open those pathways? Doing the same thing over and over. working yourself into a rut and actually expecting different results, that's one of the definitions of insanity. It will take time to learn new skills. Maybe you had an occupational or athletic injury. Maybe you're healing from a stroke, electrical injury, heavy impact. Don't stay in a rut doing the same old thing. If you were athletic, consider opening new pathways with learning a musical instrument or learning a precise art or craft. But hey, maybe arts and crafts or something creative is not part of any of your skill set. Maybe you just don't have the genetic makeup for it. That's okay. That's fine. Because if arts and crafts are not for you, think about the one thing we all have in common. We all gotta eat. Yeah. Well, and if you're healing up, well, there's no point in just limiting yourself to the old meat and potatoes. So learn some new techniques from chefs to prepare meals you never ate before. Watch reality shows or watch YouTube documentaries. My brother, Jim Delaney, check out his Facebook page. He posts pictures of some of his meals on his Facebook page, and he's also travels with his wife Marie and a lot of their friends to different restaurants to sample different types of cuisines. And so you want to learn to cook different international meals. Widen your palate for foods, wines, and spirits. Learn what you never knew before. Why? Because when those new neural pathways in your brain develop and open up, the range of your problem-solving skills might well open up too. What does this render? More opportunities. More ways to heal faster, better. No, it isn't easy. But education does not end after high school, college, tech school, grad school, or the military academy. No. Learning, evolving, developing, this is lifelong. Especially if you were not born to wealth. You must devote your life to improving yourself. Aristocracy of the mind. In case no one told you, life is the practice of putting all the wrong puzzle pieces in the right order to work for you. What works for one person may or may not work for you. Sometimes a large project that takes weeks, months, even years gives your mind more mental muscle. Whatever you need to heal, that is your goal. You are not alone. You haven't been written off or cast aside. Perhaps you do not fit into society's ways. That doesn't matter. Especially nowadays, society is always in flux. A friend in Europe once told me, the extent to which your critics hate you is a measurement of your greatness. And she's never wrong. Do not be afraid of standing alone. Do you want to be the lemming running over the cliff or the bald eagle flying over it? You get to find out what you're made of. I'm certain that many of you are looking around at how fast our society, our entire world is changing. Old methods of economy, education, class division. Now, soon enough, they're going down. Those who aspire to be corporate overseers learn that there are computer programs that can do their job. They're obsolete, these people. Everything they thought they knew is irrelevant. There's very few people left on earth for them to burn anymore to cement their place in the corporate hierarchy. And if they do not adapt, improvise, or overcome, they will be a relic on the shelf right beside that old Sony top-loading VCR. But that won't happen to you. Sure, you'll endure hardship. We all do. It's another thing we all have in common. You can make all the correct decisions and something still goes wrong. That's no flaw in you. That's just life. A man I grew up watching said, you could fall, even crash many times, but you are never a failure so long as you stand back up. That man is Evel Knievel. In Gotham, it does not matter that you are not born looking a certain way. You do not need the right social, political, corporate, or religious connections. Surface concerns like skin tone or hair texture do not matter. Why? Pretty simple. I'm going to explain that to you. I was 12 years old in the fall of 1978 at Weston Middle School in Connecticut. And my science teacher, Mike Falcone, said that there's a group of cells that determine the difference of one person to another. And those cells are so tiny, so minute, so microscopic, that the entire cluster of them could literally fit through the eye of a sewing needle. Think on the fact that this tiny, tiny group of cells, which are the results of thousands upon thousands of years of evolution, decide how you look on the surface, your skin color, hair texture, what diseases you're immune to, what genetic defects you may have or not have, what gender you will be, what gender you'll be attracted to, your bone density, muscle solidity, blood type, so many, many, many factors, so many things. Yes, what makes you different is a tiny cluster of cells. Yet for thousands of years, despotic regimes have used this microscopic difference to divide and conquer you. They have been victorious due to scientific ignorance. But we are living in the beginning of another renaissance. Typically, you do not know you're living in such a time until some historian tells you decades later. But I'm telling you now. You can bring about this global renaissance, Gothamites, by educating yourselves. Find out how we are more alike than not. Because if you think we have separation problems now, wait for a few more years when the clones, the chimera, the genetically engineered have massive numbers and they start having and developing needs too. If you have not started reading X-Men comics yet, now's not a bad time to start. Because we can move into this new era informed, or you can be herded into it by those who are preaching fear, divisions, and paranoia. It is up to you. We come from a diverse array of origins and we adore adversity. But if you're feeling rootless, know that you have a home in Gotham City. You make of it what you can with what you have. And wake up anyone else you can along the way. We are Gotham Strong. Good night, Gotham City. Where are you?